Hello, Sierra Sons. Welcome back to my house. Today we're going to explore some different kinds of shapes. First, we're going to start with geometric shapes. Now, a shape is a line that encloses a space. It's typically two-dimensional and it has length and width. So we're looking at some geometric shapes at the top of my page here. We have a square, which has equal length sides. Rectangles have two sides that are longer and two sides that are shorter. Triangles have three straight lines and angles. And then we have a rhombus or a diamond shape, which is based on our square or rectangle. Now, these shapes typically are created with math formulas. We'll also be looking for some geometric shapes that use curving lines like circles and ovals. So let's go explore and see what we can find. Let's start with squares. So here we find a ton of squares on the floor of my house. These squares are 12 by 12 squares. No, maybe a little bigger. And they're made from tiles that create a repeated pattern. But we're looking specifically for those shapes today. They have equal sides and those 90-degree corners. These are squares. Here's a whole bunch of squares. This is a chessboard made out of different colors of wood, and each square is the same length and width. Here's the entryway to my house, and the square tiles that cover the doorstep are square shapes. We also find some diamond shapes down here on the mat that answers our house. Now, backing up a little bit, we have a gigantic rectangle. So our rectangle now has two sides that are longer, two sides that are shorter. We also have an oval shape inside the door, which is a geometric shape made with a curving line. The door lock to our door has a circle shape and a square shape combined. Let's go inside and see if we can find more rectangles, squares, circles, triangles, or diamonds. You're going to find that rectangles and squares are probably the most prominent shape you're going to find. Many of our cabinets, bookcases, dressers, closets, and doors are made from rectangle shapes. Our windows, our appliances are also typically rectangular shaped. Now let's talk about organic shapes. These are irregular shapes created with curvy lines. Typically, these are shapes that you're going to find in nature. I've drawn some examples here. A leaf, a cloud, a flower, a puddle, a squiggly wiggly line that encloses the shape, not sure what we want to call that, and a little fishy. So let's see if we can find some of these shapes in our house. The pattern on our dishes has sort of a floral design. So this shape uses curvy lines, sorry my thing's getting out of focus here, to create the shapes of the leaves and the flowers. The bath mat in our tub has some whale shapes. If I pan up here, you'll notice that the square shapes in our bathroom, some of them have some organic shapes that look like flowers, using curving lines. You might also discover some other types of shapes called negative shapes. These are shapes made by the spaces around them. So if we look at this chair, we can see some triangle shapes that are actually a space. We call this a negative space or a negative shape. The legs of the chair and the hinge create the shape, even though really there's nothing there. Let's see if you can find some more. The holes in this toy also create a negative shape of a circle. This shape itself is created by the toy. This negative space then is the circle. If I look at this chair right over here, we've got sort of a teardrop shape made by the wood. The space itself is the teardrop shape, the negative space. The curving lines on this particular table make some really fun heart shapes, and the top also has some decorative floral organic shapes as well. Let's see what you can find in your house today. Maybe today you want to make a game with your brother or sister to count how many rectangles you can find in one room. Or maybe you want to look for circles or triangles. Maybe you want to go outside and look for organic shapes like trees and flowers and maybe some clouds in the sky. I hope you're enjoying our little video chats. I'll talk to you tomorrow about form.